Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
Hello there, warm welcome to the Racing Post Monday Postcast. I'm Bruce Millington and I am delighted to be joined by your usual host for this broadcast, Maddie Plale, who today is turning from presenter to expert. We've got our perennial expert, Tom Siegel, and also completing the panel from Paddy Power, we've got Paul Binfield. So what have we got today? We're going to look back on obviously 3 absorbing days in the mud at Cheltenham. We're going to look at who the best performances were, what it all means, where there might be some value for the coming weeks and months, and obviously we are going to look at the fantastic and the wonderful Faheen, who just after 2:15 on Sunday at Punchestown in the Morgiana Hurdle declared himself very much back after almost 2 years out with a fantastic victory. It really was an uplifting moment. I was so pleased because this is one of the best hurdlers we've ever seen as far as I'm concerned. Absolutely love Faheen, and he showed at 9 that he still absolutely got it. He beat a great yardstick in jet ski plus others. It was fantastic. What does it mean now, Paul Binfield, for the Paddy Power Champion Hurdle book?
Well, Faheen's gone clear favourite now, Bruce. 2-1 favourite from 5. We went 5-2 immediately after the race, and then it's 7-2 Bouverdere, 8 Defi du Soy, 10-1 Melon, and 20-1 Bar. Okay,
Tom, I say he's definitely back, and it was a fantastic performance. Can we eliminate any doubt here that perhaps the race just fell apart and that it wasn't that amazing? What did you make of it? Go on, please tell me it was great.
Well, when I first looked at it, Bruce, my original thought was, oh, what's gone on with the others? But then I looked at the time, I looked at everything, I watched it again, and you can't help but think it was a wonderful performance. It's 8 seconds quicker than the 2-mile handicap hurdle on the card. The only conclusion you come to is that the horse is as good as ever. Simple as that. And if he's as good as ever, he gets to Cheltenham in the same form. I don't think Bouverdere beat him.
Yeah, I mean, it was fantastic, wasn't it? You were at Cheltenham, Maddie, yesterday, weren't you? Was everyone crowded around the tellies watching Faheen?
Yeah, it was quite nice to see the reception, to be honest. I mean, everyone loves, Comeback King, and he was just magnificent, to be honest. I wasn't expecting it, not going to lie at all. I mean, he was beaten by Nichols Canyon first time out. I think when he won the Champion Hurdle a few years ago, and there was a lot of rumours around that the horse is fat, he's not fit, he's going to come on for the run. He just blew them away, so I was massively impressed.
It would have been nice to have had Vroom Vroom in, wouldn't it? Because she's such a good yardstick. That would have given us a really clear idea. But as Tom says, the tail of the clock was, pretty convincing.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
I think
and Bruce, Jeski obviously been out and won his thing, and Swamp Fox is a good old. He just won the Irish Zarowich or November handicap on the flat, but to beat him 50 lengths, you can't argue with anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think he could have done much more than he did, to be honest, and that's as simple as that. There's not much more we can say.
So, Maddie, as long as he hasn't come out of it with a problem, are you saying that he's a fantastic, he's the absolute one to beat? Is 2-1 a price now?
Yeah, it might be, to be honest. I'm not one to go diving into these short-priced horses, and I think that Bouverdere, you've got to be careful of underestimating him, because he did achieve an awful lot last season. I think people are in danger of underestimating him a little bit, but at the same time, if Faheen arrives in that sort of form, Bouverdere's got no chance, even if he has improved from his last effort. So.
Binners, what do you think? All over?
I think we are in danger of getting a little bit carried away, Bruce. Faheen's rated 172. Jeski and Swamp Fox are both off a mark of 155, so in theory he's got £17 in hand. Saying that, I did think he was vulnerable first time out, so it was a lovely performance, but let's see him against some slightly better tools next time.
Tom, who's going to be the danger as things stand now?
I think probably himself, Bruce. I mean, we all know these bounce factors. Second run back, I'd love to see him next time. That's the key for me. He was obviously brilliant first time up, but second time back after 2 years off the track, that'll be the acid test for him. So wherever he goes next, probably be Christmas at Leopardstown.
Okay, so that's the Champion Hurdle dealt with. Let's look at the 2-mile chasing scene, because obviously Fox Norton winning return in the Schlur yesterday, very impressive. We also had the Altior news last week. You've got potentially Duvan back, Underso's going nowhere. So there's a kind of transition. It's all a little bit up in the air as far as the Champion Chase goes. Obviously, we'll know a lot more after the Tingle Creek 2 weeks on Saturday. But as things stand, Binners, what's the latest Champion Chase betting?
Well, we've still got Altior in there as an odds-on favourite, Bruce. 4-5 favourite. Duvan at 3s. Fox Norton is now a 6-1 chance after his fantastic victory at Cheltenham. 13-2 Min. 10 great field, and it's 14 bar.
What do you make of it all, Maddie? I mean, first of all, let's start with Fox Norton because, you know, he absolutely pulverised him yesterday, didn't he? But do you kind of feel that if he's the one, then it all has to fall apart a little bit between now and March?
Sort of. I think he's a big price based on the, you know, Altior, the doubts around him. Min, we've not seen him back. I think Min will be the really interesting one for me. Duvan again, obviously, and you know, all sorts of other goings on under. So is he really good enough? Is he going to even go for a Champion Chase anymore? But I think Fox Norton, he put up a brilliant performance, and I wasn't really expecting that many fireworks. He's a very, very good horse. The one thing I would say is if we're looking at March, if the ground is lightning quick, 2 miles for him. I know it was very close last year between him and Special Tiara, but you're thinking if he can't beat Special Tiara on good ground last year, and there's potential of more to come this next year, then he's probably going to struggle. But, you know, he could have improved since then. I was really impressed with him. And I think prices-wise, we've got so many doubts about all the others. And he's proved that he's still got 4 legs and he's very, very fast. So that's good enough at this stage.
Yeah, that might be enough. Tom, I know you've got it in your head that Fox Norton's future lies over further. But, you know, as things stand, with the doubts over Altior, we still don't know Duvan's coming back fine. I mean, what do you make of it all right now?
Well, I think you've put the nail on the head, Bruce. I mean, if Altior and Duvan would be around, I don't think there's any chance he'd be running in the Champion Chase again. Because I thought he was miles better, proved massively at Aintree last year with this up in trip. I'm convinced the 3-miler. I'm like Colin is that I'm not into this trip business that you're a 2-miler. I think good horse is a good horse.
Okay. Binners, have you got a view on the Champion Chase?
Yeah, I think it's probably, listening to Tom there, it's probably worthless holding off on Fox Norton if you do fancy him for the race. Colin Tizard said all the most prestigious races are over 3 mile 2, and if Sizing John gets beaten in the bet there, then it might be tempting to send Fox Norton for the King George. And if he were to go and win that, where would he run at Cheltenham? He'd probably have to run in the Gold Cup.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think we should look at the King George betting next, Binners, because obviously, you know, what happened over the weekend has had some impact on that. And, you know, it is shaping up actually to be potentially the race of the season, isn't it? So what's the latest?
Absolutely, Bruce. Might Bite at 11-4 favourite. Sizing John 7-2. Thistle Crack at 4s. Fox Norton in at 8s. Duvan and Jack Adam at 10s, and it's 16 bar.
Who are you going to have? If I give you a free tenner, Maddie, who are you going to back in the King George?
I mean, sentiment is Thistle Crack with me, as everyone knows, but I'd go for Fox Norton in that race. I really would. Sizing John, I don't know why, I've just not got overly carried away with him. And Might Bite, his times and everything were very good last year. His reappearance was very good. But I think, you know, Whisper, I don't think he's a great horse, and I'd be interested on taking him on when he gets to that higher opposition. Fox Norton, I think, you know, as Tom said, he's better as he's been stepped up in trip, and he's the one who's really, we don't know how good he could be.
But presumably something's got to go wrong with Sizing Norton to trigger, with Sizing John to trigger a 3-mile campaign for Fox Norton, doesn't it?
Yeah, you'd think so, but obviously if, as Ben has said, Sizing John gets beat in the Betfair Chase or something doesn't go quite right, then maybe that'll open up for him.
Tom, how good could this King George be?
First one, if they all turn up, Might Bite, Thistle Crack, Sizing John, Duvan, so Fox Norton, Native River, Q-Car, Bristol, Demai, then it's the best race I've ever seen. Whether they all turn up is obviously a question.
Who are you going to back? If you have to have a bet now, Tom, who would you back for the King George?
Give him the same question as me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, if I knew, like Addy, if I knew Fox Norton running, I'd back it away. As it stands, I still think Might Bite is a cracking 11-4.
And Binners, who's your King George fancy right now?
Well, Tom's mentioned a lot of the top ones there, Bruce. Bristol Demay at 16-1 takes mine. Hopefully we'll see him running the Betfair next Saturday. Very impressed with him at Wetherby, and if it came up soft at Kempton, I'd give him a fair shout.
OK, well, we'll have a quick look at the Betfair in a minute. But first of all, to bolster your weekend betting bank, you may well fancy winning a free £25 or €25 bet, courtesy of our sponsors, Paddy Power. All you have to do is answer the upcoming question correctly and tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast. The question is, who deputised for the injured Ruby Walsh on Faugheen in Saturday's Morgiana Hurdle? Tweet your answer using the hashtag Postcast and we will reveal the winning entry in Friday's Postcast. You doing Friday, Maddie? I can't do Friday. Have they asked you yet?
I'm not sure if they have, but I'm sure I'll be stepping in as per usual.
Let's hope so. OK, right, we're going to have a quick break and then we'll look back at more of the weekend action.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
OK, the big races of the weekend were obviously the Bet Victor Gold Cup on Saturday, the Great Wood on Sunday. Both thrillers. Both extremely unpredictable because of the way the going changed due to the heavy rain. I think in terms of what it all means for the future, there were other performances which we will come to in a minute. But first of all, a quick word just about how these races change complexion over the weekend, Maddie, and also whether or not there's anything to take out of either the Great Wood or the Bet Victor. You had a theory that the ground really did affect the whole meeting, didn't you?
Yeah, before we went on air, me and Tom were agreeing that all that rain was forecast. I mean, we were looking at these races months ago, weeks ago, even the day before, anticipating the ground to be sort of really good, fair ground that wouldn't give anyone a specific advantage. But obviously with that massive monsoon that came last minute, you know, a lot of people couldn't have picked out Splash of Ginge. Well done if you did in the Great Wood, and maybe Elgin, perhaps that's a bit more of an obvious one in the Great Wood. But yeah, I think it's just one of those things where for a lot of people you have to throw the form book out the window and just look who goes on the ground, who's got a lightweight. It did add up to a degree with Splash of Ginge. I mean, he'd run in the race off a much higher mark, I think 2 years ago. But for a lot of people, it did spoil it a little bit.
OK, if you were going to put one of those horses from either race into your tracker, who would it be, Mads?
OK, first off in the Great Wood, I think Misterton put up a really nice performance in second. The one that I backed, actually, William H. Bonney, he came there travelling.
I know, I was on him as well. He was absolutely cruising, wasn't he?
I mean, I would have liked to see what he hit him running.
Yeah.
Alan King had absolutely laid him out for the race, but clearly just lacked for fitness in that ground and faded right away. Whether he's got a massive race in him, I think that could have been his opportunity to win one of these big ones. I'm not sure, you know, whether he's got that much improvement in him, but he was the real eye catcher, I guess. I think Misterton put up a great performance. William H. Bonney was the one that really caught the eye and travelled, but obviously race fitness, I'm not sure if there's that much to come. And I really struggled in the Bet Victor Gold Cup, but the one I did say is Guitar Pete. He lost an awful lot of ground when he was impeded at the start, and he actually beat a good field, including the winner, Splash of Ginge at Wetherby, the time before. Loves Cheltenham. I think he finished third in a Triumph Hurdle many moons ago. So maybe wise to keep an eye on him. But
OK. Yeah. Tom, before we get your clinical forensic verdict on either of those races, you have to say that when people like John Neild, who owns Splash of Ginge, win big races, and you get those lovely scenes with, you know, the winning jockey and Twiston Davis and Hatch and all that, it is bloody uplifting, isn't it? I thought it were really nice scenes on Saturday, didn't you?
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's great when the little guys come up. You know, they've had an amazing run with this horse, haven't they? They've won a Caspian Caviar Gold Cup, they've won a Betfair Hurdle, and now they've won a Bet Victor. I mean, it's tremendous stuff. It's been a tremendous horse for them. He's incredibly frustrating for tipsters and, well, not punters necessarily, because you can have a go at him once you know the conditions, and he's always a big price.
OK. And Ben, has anything catch your eye in either of those two big races?
Well, first of all, Bruce, commiserations to the Connections of London prize. It was a very
absolutely.
Tough horse.
That was obviously the absolute downer of the weekend, wasn't it?
Absolutely. In that race, the new one carried 11 stone 12 pounds, which was £18 more than the winner. So he did really well to only get beaten 5 3/4 lengths on soft ground. And in the Bet Victor Gold Cup, Start Detect made mistakes at the last two, was closing at the finish, only beating the neck, and I imagine he'll be back for the December Gold Cup next month.
Okay, let's rattle through a load of other really, really good eye-catching performances. I thought North Hill Harvey in our race and novice chase, I'd really been taken with him the time before when he absolutely legged it up that hill. He seems to relish the challenge of the Cheltenham Hill. How good can he be, Mads?
I mean, I thought it was a brilliant performance, really was. Jumping-wise, and he put that field to bed really quite easily, and he was giving the weight away. I'd backed Aussie the Oscar, ended up finishing last of the three in the end. It was a bizarre race from River Wild, but I think it was like 18 lengths or something ridiculous in the end, so really, really impressive. And I think with him, he really does love jumping, and that's something that's going to stand him in good stead when he faces better opposition.
He's got some heart, hasn't he, Tom, that North Hill Harvey? By the way, before we get your view on North Hill Harvey, did you watch that race on ITV, Tom?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
They did something a bit different. They had Richard Hoyle's commentating on River Wild, and then they assigned Luke to one of the other two and Mick Fitzgerald to the other two, and they had a kind of three-way dialogue throughout the race. I thought it was really good. It was really interesting.
That sounded good. I'll watch it back.
It was honestly, it was really, really interesting. I tweeted what a good idea this was. Obviously, a lot of people were like, no, I just want the commentary, but 5 minutes. All you've got is Richard Hoyle's just basically repeating the same three names. Not like, honestly,
exactly.
Try and watch it. It was excellent. But what did you make of North Hill Harvey, Tom?
Well, he's a good jumper, isn't he? As we say, it's soft ground. He's got good Cheltenham form, but I don't think a horse that finished 16th in a county hurdle should really be winning an Arkle. So I'd expect a Mullins horse or an Elliott horse or something to be too quick for him. But
what price has he been as North Hill Harvey?
16 from 25 for the Racing Post Arkle, Bruce.
And who's jolly at the moment?
At the front of the market, Footpad, 6-1. Willie Mullins reckons he's the best novice ever to have jumped at home for him. Finian's Oscar 8, 12 Petit Mouchoir, and it's 16 Brain Power and North Hill.
Tom, we're due a competitive Arkle, aren't we? I mean, we've seen some absolutely sensational winners, but it tends to be one of the more kind of processional races at the festival, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing about the novice chases now is that they've been diluted. It's not a problem. I love the JLT, and I love the 4 miler has come to the fore as a real positive race. We had the second and the third of the Gold Cup running the 4 miler in the last 2 years. So I love those races now. They've made them, but I think it's diluted a little bit from the Arkle and the RSA because everything used to run it, and that's probably why we've had the processional races we had.
Okay, well, Ben has mentioned Finian's Oscar just then. He was obviously a star of Friday. Tom, will stick with you. What do you make of Finian's Oscar? Let me ask you this. I looked at the JLT betting. Sorry, it's not the JLT. Is it the JLT? What's changed this year?
Yeah,
I know, we've lost the Neptune, haven't we? Yeah. The Neptune's the Ballymore Prodigies. Yeah, we've still got the JLT. And I'm amazed to see that Finian's Oscar and Yanworth are the same price with one firm. To me, Finian's Oscar all day. What do you think, Tom?
Yeah.
Well, I think Finian's Oscar is an absolute superstar. I thought that performance when he sprinted away from the last, very, very few horses do that. Sprint up that hill like he did. My issue with him is he's slightly with his jumping. I'm going to probably get myself in trouble. I'm not a great Brian Cooper fan, and I didn't think he was brilliant on him. But I do love the horse. Absolutely brilliant. I'd love him in the RSA myself because I think 3 miles is his trip. As I say, I'm with Colin. I don't think trips are... I think we overestimate trips. Are really good horses.
We definitely do, Tom. We definitely do. We were talking about this the other day with Winks. They run 7 furlongs, run a mile and a half. Mo Farah runs 5,000, 10,000, and that's not a stupid analogy. No. We are absolutely obsessed with the precision of these tips. You get horses on the flat. That's how his best trip 7.5 furlongs. That's bollocks. It's just nonsense. We're far too precise over that because I
couldn't agree more.
Anyway, so I'm absolutely with you there. But just to sum up on Finian's Oscar, potential Gold Cup winner?
Definitely. He's brilliant.
You a fan, Mads?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, again, I didn't have a great week up to this point. I backed Move of the Times. I thought it was a very clever move by Geraghty. He flew into the lead. And then Finian's Oscar, that he is renowned for being a bit lazy, but to do what he did, as Tom says, takes some doing. And I think he'll get better and better with match practice and... he's a superstar, yeah. So
if we all love Finian's Oscar, Binners, what prices can we get on him for Cheltenham, mate?
Well, we made him 6-1 favourite from 9 for the JLT novices chase. Bruce, Colin Tissard seemed to mention the Arkle to a few journalists, but we just left him unchanged for that. We think he's more of a sort of JLT horse.
And do you like him, Binners?
I do actually now, Bruce. Before the race, I thought he was vulnerable. I thought he was slightly slow at the first fences at Chepstow on his chasing debut. It took time to warm up, but he was absolutely brilliant at Presbury Park, and you know, he's a deserved favourite for the JLT at this early stage.
OK, let's talk Thomas Campbell next. What's he going to go on to achieve, Maddie?
I was speaking to a few people on Sunday, and they actually really rate him as a stayers hurdle horse. I mean, I think he's got a lot to go and to go up to that level. But I mean, I thought Antaros was going to take the race on the rail, and he just powered away from him in ground that he probably wouldn't have absolutely loved. So I think, yeah, he's a live contender. I wouldn't be getting too overly excited, but he was a good novice last season, and this step up in trips just brought out the best in him.
Who's your stayers hurdle fancy at this juncture?
I wouldn't have a clue, to
Wouldn't
be
you?
honest. No,
Okay,
I
fair
think
enough.
need a little bit more time.
Right.
You know what I mean? Harry's very solid. It'd be interesting to see if Thistlecrack can give him much to think about Newbury.
Tom, before we talk about Thomas Campbell, James Pyman thinks that Q Card is the bet for the stayers hurdle. What do you think of that? He reckons that if he's one more bad jump, then they'll go back over the smaller obstacles. Is that as daft as it sounds?
Definitely not. Definitely not. I mean, I think that's probably best chance of winning a race at the Cheltenham Festival, isn't it? I mean, let's be honest about it. The stayers hurdle is the stayers hurdle because it's for horses that aren't chasers. You know, most good stayers go chasing now. So I'm with Pyman on that one. I think Q Card is very interesting.
What's the latest thing? Give us a show, Paul. And is Q Card quoted? I bet he's not yet, is he?
No, I don't think Q Card's in the betting at the moment, Bruce. No, he's not. At the head of the market, we've got, you know what I mean, Harry and Nichols Canyon both on 6s. Then it's 10s, Penn Hill, the Cheltenham Festival winner this year. The World's End, who we'll talk about in a minute, I think. Baheen at 10s, and it's 12-1 bar.
Well, give me 100 tennis Q Card while we're at it. Go on, you can talk about the World's End now if you like, because he's not on my running order, Binners. What do you want to say about him?
Well, it was going to be my horse to
OK, well, let's hold that then.
Follow this week.
Let's hold that and let's talk instead about a phenomenally impressive juvenile hurdler, Apple's Shakira. Wow. I mean, that Gamble had caught my eye early on, you know, and I know it's all very early. We're only in November, and sometimes you have to wait right till the Adonis to see what you're actually dealing with when it comes to Triumph. But blimey, O'Reilly, Apple's Shakira was terrific. What do you make of her, Maddie?
I mean, I've got a shed load of eye catchers and things to say separate from this, but I thought she was awesome. Yeah, like I say, I didn't make it to the races on the Saturday. I'm quite glad I stayed stuck on the sofa in that deluge. But she was wicked. I think at this stage, even better than Deffy, to be honest, for me. Yeah, Gamble, what else have we got to go on? He was the best around, and she absolutely, I mean, pummeled him. So, yeah, interesting quotes afterwards about Nikki Henderson saying, or Barry saying, that she doesn't know her job at this stage, whereas Deffy Desoy did. Well, if she doesn't know her job and she's doing that, I'm terrified to imagine.
Because I had her in a little bit of bother at one point, you know, going down, you know, so coming down the hill, I wasn't sure she was actually going to get there, but then once Barry turned on the afterburners, that was game over, wasn't it? What did you think, Tom?
I thought there was three interesting things, Bruce. I know we all sit there and look at the performance. I just thought the response to the connections, the way she was back, everything about her points to her being just something different. Barry came off and said she was just electric, never ridden anything like it. Everything about it suggested that everyone knew she was brilliant.
Not a lot not to like, was there? Binners, what price is Apple's Shakira now for the Triumph?
Very short, Bruce. 4-1 favourite from 16. Then it's 12-1 bar, including Gamble at 25-1, who was popular enough himself before the race at the weekend.
I might be tempted by that 4-1.
Yeah, I might. The only reason she's fours is because people are expecting a load of others to come along. Otherwise, you know, she's got to be short, hasn't she?
It's highly unlikely she's going to go off fours, is it?
No, exactly. Right, let's fill up everyone's horse trackers with our eye catchers from the weekend. Maddie, it sounds to me like you've got a kind of Frank Hickey style package of them. What have you got for us?
Not so much horses, but just lots of stuff to say.
Go on, then. You've got you're allowed to say 5 things, but they've all all got to be snappy because I've got to go betting shop manager of the year in a minute.
No problem. Right, Sugar Baron. A lot of people said the pace fell apart in that race, won by What a Moment, I think it was. But he came from an absolute different parish. He's got good form in the Bet365 Gold Cup last season. He's bound to come up in something like that again. But he was just, I don't know how he did it. He came from about 5 billion light years away. So Sugar Baron
won,
chuck him
2.
in there. Kingswell Theatre, we've not given him a mention. He won the cross country. That was a really game, gutsy performance. I think he's about 20.
Don't mention that, Maddie. That's mean.
I think he's about.
Oh yeah, you just got beat there, didn't you? Yeah, that was unlucky. That.
I think 25 to 1. You know, he's shown that he absolutely loved those banks and that course. And this race often, whatever wins this, tends to go pretty well at the festival. So I think maybe we're in danger of underestimating him. And 2 sort of final things. I went to Fergal O'Brien's yard on Friday morning. Absolutely stunning setting. I've been before. Love it to bits. 2 horses from there. Maybe there's a horse called Time to Move On. I think he's related to Barney Dwan, who Fergal's got. He's owned by the Rooneys. He could be pretty good. They're just absolutely flying with their bump horses at the minute. And another horse called Infinite Sun. He's a giant, and he won a bumper, showing some useful form, so he could be quite good. And finally, one last thing. We've not mentioned him yet. I'm surprised we've not. Slate House.
Yeah, no, fair shout. We were going to get round to him.
And Harry Cobden, I think, give a word to him. The way he's conducted himself in light of getting this Q card ride, he's bound to get more rides now. Sam Twiston-Davies is out injured for a bit. I think he's exceptionally talented, and the way he conducts himself is flawless. Really, really good rider, and I think he's destined for huge things.
Tom, do you remember when Maddie used to nag you for droning on and on and on? Do you want to get your own back now, mate?
Pot and kettle.
Sorry, Tom.
The possession stats for this podcast, blimey, all right, it's making David Jennings sound succinct. Okay, Tom, who do you like? Who are your eye catchers that we haven't mentioned? And you might want to give word to Slate House as well while you're at it.
Slate House, I was a bit myrrh about him, as my son would say, a bit myrrh. He's okay.
Okay.
I think, Bruce, at Punchestown on Saturday, Monolly won his beginner's chase, and he was electric with his jumping.
Yeah, that was the other thing ITV did yesterday. You know, everyone said how good it was when we were all watching the Melbourne Cup, and the coverage over there, as the jockeys come back in, they were doing that yesterday, all the beaten jockeys.
I missed this.
It was really good, actually.
Such a great idea.
And Brian Hughes came in, and he was absolutely slaughtered Cheltenham. He really did. Blimey, it was just a little aside, but you're like, whew, can I say he wasn't remotely impressed. Simon Clace has since had his say. But, Paul, drum roll, because you've got at least one for the tracker, haven't you? Who is it?
Well, I've got, just quickly, you mentioned Frank Hickey. A random race goer came up to me on Saturday and said, I hate it when you're Paddy on the postcast. I'm always gutted when Frank's not on board. But anyway,
I get that feeling as well. They're like, why are you doing it? I'm not Maddie. Get her on. It drives me mad.
I don't think that's the case at all.
I promise you, they do. Anyway, sorry, go on.
Yeah, Monolly, I thought his jumping in Saturday's beginner's chase at Punchestown was really, really good. And he's earned a tilt at a grade 1 at Leopardstown over Christmas. And you've already mentioned, all of you have mentioned Slate House. Bit worried about betting anti-post on that one, as I suppose he could go for any of the 3 novice hurdles at this stage.
Tom slated Slate House. And who's the other one? Yeah. Is it the World's End for us, Paul?
Well, I've got the World's End coming up for this weekend.
Oh, okay.
Bruce,
yeah, blimey, we'll get there in the end. Right, we'll have a quick advert and then we'll straight back to Binners for the World's End.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes 2nd, 3rd or 4th to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. BeGambleAware.org.
OK, welcome back. We've looked back now. Let's look ahead, because these fantastic autumn Saturdays just keep coming. There isn't any respite, is there? You know, in the flat season, you get 2 or 3 weeks, don't you? You think, no, there's not much happening this weekend. But honestly, absolutely, week after week now, we're just getting fantastic. This is the point
where I slate people who say that, you know, racing's too Cheltenham-centric. No, it's not. I love
exactly.
it. Absolutely love it.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think from late October right through till Christmas, it's absolutely brilliant. It's a great time in its own right. And obviously, the highlight this weekend is the Betfair Chase up at Haydock. It's the first leg of the £1 million Triple Crown, and that bonus has been quite enough to smoke out Sizing John, the reigning Gold Cup champion. He's coming over for the Betfair Betfair Chase. We'll go to you, Maddie, for sizing and your Betfair Chase verdict, let's say.
Right, quite simple really. Sizing John, I'm taking him on.
Why?
I've never been really that convinced by him, and I don't think the vibes.
He's only won a Cheltenham Gold Cup.
Oh, I know, and he did miraculous things last season, but I'm not sure. I don't think the vibes have been that great. Harrington, obviously, our Duke, had that bad scope, and he wasn't.
And a bad back.
Yeah. Oh, really?
He's had a back operation.
Well.
Yeah.
Oh dear. So sizing John, I just think at the prices it's worth taking something to take him on with. Q Card, I think I read you could get 5 to 1 or something.
Correct.
He could well have won that Weatherby race. And you know that this
I've got
is
the betting now, Maddie. He's down to 3 to 1, I'm afraid.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Just in the moment of an eye. It was 5 to 1 when you said it,
but
and
this is,
Binners is cutting.
I think, this is his Gold Cup. These are his conditions. He'll get the ground. He'll love the track. And on that Weatherby run, you can't be reading too much out of that. I mean, he's belted fences in the past and fell and then come back and been as good. So at the prices, I'll go with Q Card. And another just mentioned to a massive outsider, if he runs, Jarle Enki. Loves Haydock, loves soft ground, has some really good form. I think he won the Peter Marsh or something off very nearly top weight. Again, I'm just going with those that are going to love the conditions and love the track, and hopefully Sizing John might find a bit of a weak spot somewhere.
Well, I don't think they're going to be blaming the low sun at Haydock this week, because I've been looking at the forecast. It looks pretty rainy all week, so we'll see what we get ground-wise. Before Tom gives us his verdict on the race, or his early thoughts on the race, Binners, what's the full show from Paddy Powell on the Betfair Chase?
Well, 13 to 8 Sizing John, Bruce. Then it's Bristol to May, 2 to 1. Forecast would be good for him if you're right. Q Card 3 to 1, 10 to 1 T for 2, and Outlander, and it's 20 to 1 bar.
Sorry, what price can we get Jarle Enki? I think he's about massive, isn't he?
25s, Maddie.
Oh, okay.
25s. Tom, are you going to be looking at the front three, or do you think you'll be fishing in slightly riskier waters for the winner of this one?
Well, first thing to say is I don't think I'd want to be Mr. Maddie Play. If you don't like Sizing, I wouldn't be coming home from a hard day at the office to be told that the Irish Gold Cup, the Gold Cup winner and the Punchstone Gold Cup winner.
She's got very high standards, Maddie.
He's I just want to clarify. He's a spectacular horse and he's very, very good. But I'm just not rich enough to be piling into him at that price. So
he'll grow on you, Maddie.
Yeah.
When he wins his 4th Gold Cup, you'll like him.
Listen, funnily enough, I'm with you, Maddie, here. If as Bruce has alluded to, the forecast is what it is, I wouldn't want Sizing John around. I mean, Haydock is like a law unto itself. Terrible. I think Bristol to May and Q Card would be more plausible winners than him.
Okay, right. Let's talk about who else you're looking forward to seeing at this weekend. I think we should go to Paul Binfield. Paul, who are you looking forward to running this weekend?
Really looking forward to the World's End, Bruce, owned by flamboyant owner Max McNeil. I think he's going to run in Saturday's Betfair Stayers handicap hurdle at 225. Last season he was unlucky to take a tumble in the Albert Bartlett. Still going well, 2 out when still upside. Made amends at Aintree, and I think a handicap rating of 149 doesn't look too onerous. I think he's got a good chance around 7 to 1.
Okay. Have you ever seen Max McNeil watch a horse race? He doesn't watch. He just looks down at the ground, listens to the commentary. But absolutely, just studies his feet. He can't bear to look. And
actually, he rubs his hands together. Quite
yes, he does. He does. Well. You're right. He does. But he's
a good old Reading fan, Max. I might have a word said again.
No, he's a good guy, and they're the sort of people that I love being involved in racing, because they look like they absolutely adore the game as well.
Blue and white hoop colours.
That's it, absolutely. And they've had some really good success. I mean, didn't they win the Cesarewitch once? Did Grametti win the Cesarewitch?
Yeah.
Just
I know someone who tipped that, and every time I see him, I'm like,
really?
Tipping my hat to him, because that was the pick of the century. That.
Yeah, it certainly was a good suss. There. Anything else you're looking forward to watching this weekend, Mads?
I'd be interested to, when we know more information about who's running in the novice hurdles and the bumpers and races like that, they're the ones I get really excited about. But in the same race, Binners mentioned No Hasselhoff. He won what I thought was probably a better race than what most people thought on his return. I think he won it off a big weight. He was really nice. He's got really good juvenile form. Novice form, behind Constantine Bay and the likes of those good Albert Bartlett horses. So No Hasselhoff could run a big race in that.
An Albert Bartlett horse, I like that description. Tom, what have you got for the weekend that's on your radar?
Well, we're all looking at the same race, Bruce. That's probably because it's the only one we actually know. When I was doing my Ladbroke Trophy preview the other day, I got the boys in the office to phone up David Pipe and ask him about Champers on Ice, because I thought he was a good horse for that race. And he said, we're not going for that, we're going for the Haydock race, what he thought probably was the Big Crusher race, but is not Big Crusher anymore. But I thought Champers, I think he's got a very good record in the race, David Pipe. It's interesting, he was aiming Champers on Ice for the Haydock race. It gets really soft, stays really well. So for me, that's the one I'm most interested in.
Fantastic stuff. Excellent. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Maddie. Maddie's going to be back on Friday with the weekend postcast. I'm back Thursday for the football. If you enjoy the shows, please make sure you review and subscribe on iTunes. We'll see you later this week.
Paddy Power are offering money back as a free bet if the horse you back finishes second, third or fourth to the SP favourite in at least 2 races every day this month. Max £25 per race. T's and C's apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.